When Yahuah spoke to Ayub out of the whirlwind, he said, "Do you bind the bands of Kemah or loosen the cords of Kasil? Do you bring out the constellations in its season, or do you lead the bear with its sons? Do you know the laws of the heavens, or do you set their rule over the earth?" So what is the Kemah and Kasil and the great bear and its sons? Kemah is the Hebrew word for the Pleiades, and Kasil is the Hebrew word for Orion. Can you bind the cluster of Pleiades or loosen the belt of Orion? The Orion's belt points to the Pleiades. You have to have one to find the other. It is important because in the next verse it says, "Can you bring out the Mazaroth in its season?" Mazaroth is the Hebrew word for constellations. So this passage is telling us that these constellations mark the season. And how do these constellations mark the season? Orion's 3 stars here points to the Pleiades. This is how to locate it. This is why they are used in the scripture together. And why is that important? Because the Pleiades makes its descent to be passed over by the sun right after Passover. Now, this is April the 11th. This is the 12th. Notice it's going closer and closer to the sun. April 20th. Getting closer. Now we're in May. Notice it's completely behind the sun. The sun passes over Pleiades on May the 12th. You can no longer see it. So this shows us by the lunar calendar, by the lunar cycles, that the last full moon before this happens would be the full moon of April 12th, because it's already been passed over on May the 12th. Showing that April 12th is the full moon of Passover this year. Now, if you look at the weather, you'll see that we're going to have another hard freeze on Tuesday the 8th. All right? If you had planted your first fruits before this date, most likely it would be destroyed. This is why this is important. And this year, the last hard freeze, this should be the last hard freeze of the year. And then you have Passover on the 12th. And first fruits on the 20th. And this should be the time to plant the barley. And then 50 days from that is Pentecost, or Shavuot as we call it. And that is when you wave your first fruit offering, right, of the barley. Because barley takes 50 days to mature. Alright, so what is the great bear and its cubs? It says, you know, can you lead the great bear with its cubs? All right, can you guide them? No, they guide us, and they were put in the sky by Yahuah for us to have a guide, so that we can follow the bear and its cubs to find our way, not the other way around. So, what is the great bear? Great bear is Ursa Major. The cub is Ursa Minor. Yahuah puts these in the sky so we'll know our direction. Gives us true north, the Polaris, the pole star. Tells us which direction to go. Yahuah, out of his great love, gives us a seasonal marker that's written in the sky. And he also gives us direction, tells us where our latitude is, so that we can find our way on ships, find our way by navigating at night. So these great things that the Father has put up there, you know, the ancients have twisted and started worshiping these things, and that's where they went and erred. It was Yahuah Elohim that put these things up there for us as markers to show us our way and to tell us when the seasons, so that we could keep his festivals without a paper calendar. So anyways, I want to share with this, just wanted to share this with you guys, and hope it is a blessing. May Yahuah bless you and keep you, and make his face shine upon you and give you shalom.